Hey everyone, welcome back to Star Wars. I mean Outriders. I look like a freaking Ewok, so I have to say Star Wars from time to time. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. And that is what level or expedition is actually the easiest to get a better challenge tier. So getting a better CT level so that way you can get better loot and better gear. As you guys can see, I'm currently at 12. Haven't really been completely focusing on getting to a challenge tier 15 as of late. However, I am starting to get to that point. And what is the best expedition on the map in order to actually do that? Well, it's actually showing on the map currently, so I'm gonna show you guys a couple different pointers of what you guys can actually do in order to get the one that at least I feel is the easiest to actually obtain a challenge tier increase so that you guys can get better loot and everything else. Now, the other thing I quickly do want to go over is I didn't even know this in the patch notes, and that is that if you guys take a look at the bronze category, so specifically in the Time Lord Spire here, that if you guys get into that bronze category, that 29 minutes and 42 seconds, you no longer get an increase in your tier level anymore. And I did an expedition earlier, I think it was yesterday, to actually generate a better challenge tier, and I couldn't figure out exactly why. So, but that's the reason why, and I didn't even realize it right away, and I don't remember seeing it in the patch notes. So hopefully, if you guys are experiencing not being able to increase quick enough, or thought you should have increased in your challenge tier, then that might be the reasoning right there. However, Time Lord Spire is not actually the one that we want to participate in order to actually go ahead and level up quickly. So we're going to go ahead and to start this expedition. So it's going to go through a little bit of loading screen. Thank God I have an Xbox Series X, so the loading screens are ridiculously fast. And then what we're going to do is just go ahead and abandon this one right away. Now we're going to go ahead and confirm that, and then we're going to be sent back to our Outrider camp, and then we're going to go ahead and approach the expeditions table once again, and hopefully it will actually be there. Otherwise, if it's not there, then what you need to do is basically go ahead and rinse and repeat, and it's still not here. So once I actually get the one that I'm looking for, I will be back with you guys. So after a few attempts on being able to get the expedition that I want, it did show up in my expeditions. But quickly before that, I do, like I said earlier, I do play on the Xbox Series X, and I do want to let you guys know that I've already experienced some of the patch changes, but according to Outriders themselves, the patch for the Xbox hasn't been released. So I'm kind of confused, because if we actually take a look at the one that we're going to be looking at, which is specifically the chem plant, I find this one actually to be the easiest, in my opinion, to actually generate through the challenge tiers. I'm going to show you guys specifically one spot where you can skip an entire lot of enemies and then actually just bypass that entire segment altogether, and that saves you a ton of time. So you can see that my last run, I got a silver on world or challenge tier 11. So there's that. However, you can see that, like I said earlier, that these have changed and the times have changed on my chem plant. So I'm not sure if I'm like a one-off or if something was like, if it's like a double fix. But I can tell you that some of the friends that do play on Xbox that play on the older generation consoles are experiencing some of the issues where they can't connect. So I'm just letting you guys know. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start this expedition, and we're gonna go ahead and show you guys the point in time that we need to get to in order to bypass those enemies and save you guys a little bit of time on this specific expedition. All right, so this is the area that we can bypass at a certain point in time, and once we get to that point in time, I'll actually be back and let you guys know about that right when that happens. All right, and now it's time for the entire process that we can actually go ahead and skip past a ton of enemies. What we're gonna do is you're gonna activate the elevator right here, and it's gonna give you this little bit of a cutscene. And ultimately, you just need to wait right here in this general area in order for that to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and activate my twisted rounds here. I'm going to try to stay away from that as much as possible. I want to get the enemies over to me as much as possible. There we go. I'm actually going to go ahead and use my bubble. I'm going to go ahead and just annihilate all these guys right here as much as possible. And there's the elevator opens, and now you can just actually go ahead and back up into it, and that saves you fighting 2 bosses, and it a few enemies as well. So typically, at least when you're playing as the trickster, you're able to get past that very quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and restock, get into this next area, and we're gonna go ahead and pass this one and get ourselves to a new challenge tier fairly easily. I'll probably easily get silver. Should have no problem getting silver. If I get bronze, I'm going to be actually very disappointed in myself. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what rewards we get from participating in this one. All right, now we're down to our last enemy, and you can definitely see that we're within our silver, so that's fine. I do find that this one is a little bit more challenging to get gold, but I feel like it's fairly easy to go ahead and get silver as you're increasing our challenge tier. And you can see at the bottom, I was able to do that relatively quickly, and I got a ton of drop pod resources for completing this at a much higher difficulty of the challenge tier. So I'm gonna go ahead and collect my loot. Let's head on over to the drop pod, and let's go ahead and see what we actually get here. So that would be great if we actually got ourselves a couple legendaries. That would be absolutely fantastic. So the last time that I actually did this on a challenge tier 10, I actually got one legendary, and looks like no dice this time, but that's a-okay. We are able to at least increase our challenge tier exactly like I told you guys we were going to do, and be able to get that done in the gold and also or the silver category. And honestly, like I said, I feel like this one is the easiest just because you can bypass a fairly decent amount of enemies very quickly using that elevator method. But anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure that you guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down below. It would help me out a lot and is greatly appreciated. But until next time, YouTube, you guys keep doing what you're doing because you're already doing it, and you guys stay gaming.